They do. Thank you very much, Jake, for that. It's interesting. While politicians invite the blame game about who may or may not have muzzled science, there's actually a new report that hits on the most pressing issue, when global warming could make a difference. Now, Sam, you've been gearing up for this report coming out. What could it mean?
And first-time study this size, Chris. This morning, 500 of the top scientists in the world are meeting behind closed doors to finish up a landmark report on global warming. And the picture they're painting isn't pretty. We're talking about changes not hundreds of years away, but within the next 10 years. This is not the future, it's happening today. Already massive glaciers and sea ice are disappearing. Droughts are ravaging Africa, southern Asia, and Australia. And rising oceans are covering islands and beaches. And a draft of a new report on climate change obtained by ABC News paints a disastrous look for global warming.
We're hoping that it will convince people that that climate change isn't real.
The soon-to-be-released report predicts an increase in heat waves, intense tropical storms, and hurricanes, a sharp rise in sea levels, and at an even faster pace, continued melting of the world's ice. American scientists reportedly want the final version of the report to recommend new technologies called geoengineering. One idea, for instance, would use giant mirrors to deflect some of the sun's rays from getting to the Earth, cooling the planet back down. Sounds like science fiction. With NASA funding, University of Arizona professor Roger Angel is researching using small disks to create a giant sun shade in space.
The effect could be to take our temperature back to pre-industrial level.
But these ideas are still considered a last resort. Most scientists believe we need to focus on reducing carbon emissions before looking into alternatives in space.
Well, I don't think geoengineering is a magic bullet. We just haven't found anything that's really come close to being able to do anything that doesn't have other side effects that you just wouldn't want to have happening.
But some say we may already be at a point of no return. On Monday, Indonesia's environmental minister warned that rising sea levels may cover some 2,000 of his country's more than 18,000 islands in just 23 years. Now, we'll be talking about other stories about global warming all this week as we count down to the release of that full report on Friday. And I'll be there in Paris on Friday for the release of that report. Chris Stein.
We hear about timing, but to have all these scientists on the same page about how soon, that's rare, isn't it?
That's what's new about this. No one's really gotten together to blame it on humans, this big of a crowd.
Paris.
Yep.
Nice.
Okay.